Sairam students, I welcome all of you once again to the fourth part of lesson number 21, Busy at Work, our internal organs. So let's recall once again whatever we have learned in the last lecture. So students, in the last lecture, if you remember, we spoke about the different parts of the digestive system. So you can see that over here in this diagram, the digestive system, it starts with the mouth, and this digestive system, it ends with the anus. Okay, so the food is taken inside our body with the help of the mouth, and the undigested food material, it is thrown out of the body through the anus. So you can see that over here, from mouth to the anus, the organs are connected to each other. So the organs which are started from the mouth and which are ended at the anus, they are continued tube-like structure. So this type of the tube-like structure, we call it as what? Alimentary canal. So you can see that over here, this is the mouth region, and inside the mouth region you can see the salivary gland over here, and the food is collected from the mouth and it is collected into the esophagus. Esophagus, it is also called as a food pipe. It is collecting the food material and it is sending the food to the stomach. So in this stomach, various food will get digested, and even the germs, if at all they had entered inside the food material, so they will also get killed by the acidic condition of the stomach. And you can see that over here, liver and the salivary gland, they are present in our body, which produces various type of the chemical for the digestion of the food material. And again you can see that here in our body, pancreas, large intestine, the small intestine, rectum, anus, these all organs are connected with the digestion of the food material. So in the small intestine, the digestion process gets completed, and in the large intestine, the water molecule is get absorbed by the body, and the large intestine, it is also responsible for forming the stool material. So the stool sample, it is passed on to the rectum. Rectum collects the undigested food material, and that undigested food material is removed out of the body with the help of what? Anus. So as I told you that the food which we eat, that is digested in our body, and that can mix with the blood, and this process, it takes place into different parts of the long flexible tube inside our body, and this tube we call it as what? Alimentary canal. So I hope so students, now you must have understood about what do you exactly mean by the alimentary canal. Okay, so now students, see here, I told you that in our body, salivary gland and the liver, these are the two organs which are present, right? So as you can see that over here, gland, this is a new word which we have learnt in the last session. So what do you exactly mean by the gland? Gland is an organ that secretes a certain substances. So certain substances which are helpful for what? Process of the digestion. So this is called as what? Gland over here. And again students, as you can see that over here, we all know that while having our meal, we should enjoy many different tastes and the flavors. We sense them using the tongue and the nose. Always remember that I have seen that nowadays many of the students and even their parents also, they eat the food material while watching either TV or while observing or while operating the mobile phone. We should avoid operating TV and the mobile phone, at least having dinner or lunch. So whenever you are eating something, please keep away your mobile phone, please switch off the TV and just focus on the food material. What you are eating, enjoy your meal completely. So if you enjoy your meal, then only the food will go into your body and that will be benefited to your body. And do you know that the food has a different taste and the flavor? So that different taste and the flavor, they are sensed by with the help of what? Tongue and the nose. So nose smells the different flavor of the food material, and the tongue tastes the different taste of the food material. So who are responsible for sensing the taste and the flavor? Tongue and the nose. So that's why students, always remember that having our meal, we should enjoy the different taste and the flavor. And students, now see here, most of the time, now you know that, but sometime we find that the food item tastes or smells bad many of the time, right? So it may be because the food is spoiled. Sometimes the food doesn't taste better. So that time we should pay attention to such changes in the food. In such cases, the food has really gone bad and we should avoid eating that type of the food material. If we consume the spoiled food, so there are the chances that we might suffer from the food poisoning. So that's why to avoid the food poisoning, we should check the taste and the smell of the food material before consuming it. Understood? Now students, you must have seen that many of the time at our home or teachers, we always tells you that please drink adequate quantities of water. Most of the time I have observed that many of them drink water only when you are thirsty. So usually we have that tendency that if we are thirsty, then only we drink the water. So that tendency we have to avoid anyhow. Now you must be thinking why the water is essential, why water is so much important. So let me tell you that students, why water is important over here, because do you know that sufficient quantity of water, it is responsible for the process of the digestion. So for the process of the digestion to take place properly, as well as for the food to keep moving through the alimentary canal. Otherwise, you know that the food which we are consuming, that is either in the solid format or either it is in the semi-solid format. So if we want to push the food material inside our stomach, then water is essential. And if one person does not drink enough amount of the water, one becomes constipated. Now what do you mean by constipated? One passes the hard stool. So most of the time you must have noticed that some people having the trouble in passing the stool. So that time you should understand that why there is a trouble, because that person is suffering from the lack of water in the body. So that's why always remember that if you feel that anytime you're suffering from the constipation, eat as much as vegetable as you can, and at the same time drink a lot of water. So as much as water you will drink, whatever food material it is stuck up in your stomach, that will be removed very easily. Otherwise, constipated food material inside your stomach, they can cause the poisoning, they can cause the food poisoning, and they can even cause the stomach pain, etc. So that's why students always remember that we should avoid constipation by drinking a lot of water as much as we can. After half an hour or 1 hour, we shouldn't wait for becoming thirsty. Okay, so that's why the water is very essential. And not only the digestion process, students, you must be thinking that only digestion process is dependent upon the process of the water. No, but there are many tasks which are present in our body which are impossible without the water, like the blood circulation. You guys know that the 80% of the component of the blood is the water. So if you don't drink enough amount of the water, then how blood will flow, how the blood formation will take place? So that's why the water that is absorbed during the digestion, the water that is used for all the other processes in the body, digestion, excretion, circulation, respiration, and each and everything. And that's why students, it is always important to drink adequate quantities of the water. Okay, so now I ask you one question, why water is important? So now you got the answer on your screen. The screen before this and this one, they are the answer for your why we should drink enough quantities of the water. So this is our answer for this. Okay. And at the same time, student, you must have seen that if you are late for school, or if you want to go anywhere for going to the playing on the playground, etc., what we do usually, we eat in hurry. Am I right? And most of the time many of the students have habit of speaking while eating, right? But let me tell you that we shouldn't, why we say that we must not eat in hurry, and why we say that we must also avoid the speaking and eating at the same time? Any idea why we say like that? What happens if we speak a lot while eating, or if we eat in hurry? Guess what will happen? Yes, suppose if we eat in the hurry, most of the time you must have noticed that food material gets choked up inside the throat region. Am I right? So you can see that, students, over here, the upper end of both the esophagus and the windpipe, they open in the throat next to each other. That means what? Esophagus, it is a food pipe. Esophagus is the food pipe which carries the food material, and trachea is the windpipe which carries the air passage. So our opening of our mouth, the end part of our mouth and the end part of our nose, they are meeting at one common point in this throat region. Okay, so I will show you the diagram so that you will understand that in the better way. Can you see that, students, here? So this is the mouth region, this is the nose region. So the nose region and the mouth region, they both got this one common opening. So this is the common opening for mouth and the nose. Are you getting my point? So our windpipe and the food pipe, they all are meeting at the common point over here. So suppose if we are eating in the hurry, then there are the chances that the food particle will go into the windpipe unknowingly. So when the food is swallowed and the windpipe remains closed, but when always remember that whenever we eat any type of the food material, the windpipe always remains closed. It does not open. Why? Because so that if the windpipe is closed, the food material won't enter inside the food pipe. But when we eat in the hurry, the food may enter the windpipe. If we eat in the hurry, then food may enter the windpipe and they cause us to choke on it. Are you getting my point over here? So you can see that over here, student, in this diagram. Can you see that the food particle has been choked inside this red region? It is a food particle. So when this person is eating in the hurry, you can see that in the windpipe, in the larynx region, you can see that the food pipe has been completely choked up. So that's why when the food enter in the windpipe, when the food enters inside the windpipe, it causes us to choke up the food material. And that's the reason why we must not eat in hurry, and that's the reason we must also avoid speaking and eating at the same time. Are you getting my point, guys? Okay, so always remember that we should not eat in hurry and we should always stop talking while we are eating. Understood? So students, and one more thing, we crush the food material with the help of the teeth. Am I right? So if we want the healthy teeth, we need to look after them. In younger age only, many of the students, they suffer from the toothache and etc. I just wonder that how you youngster, you suffer from the toothache. It shouldn't suffer. You guys must be suffering from the toothache because you guys are not taking care of your tooth properly. Because the reason is that, students, every tooth has a covering of the enamel. Now what do you mean by enamel? Let me show you over here. So can you see that this is the teeth region over here? So see, this is the outer part of our teeth. This is the gums region. So this pinkish is the gums region, and here there is a white layer on the teeth material. The white layer which is present on this teeth material, it is called as what? Enamel. Are you getting? And what is the function of the enamel? Enamel protects the delicate inner parts of the tooth. You can see that inside the tooth, blood vessels are present. They are very delicate organ. So blood vessels are there, and again there are many delicate organs which are present. So the enamel is protecting the inner parts of the tooth. So every tooth has a covering called as what? Enamel. So let me tell you, students, that over here, enamel is the hardest substance in our body. Enamel is the hardest substance in the body, and that's the reason any type of the food material we chew very easily. Right? So what do you exactly mean by the enamel? Enamel is a white coating, or there is one layer which is present on the tooth material. But if we do not keep our teeth clean, even this enamel corrodes and the tooth decay. So why we suffer from the toothache? Because if we don't brush regularly, if we don't drink enough amount of the water, so this enamel, it will get damaged very easily. Okay, so that's why we should take care of our teeth properly. We should brush our teeth twice. Always remember that. Students, you must have seen that now in the we have just spoke about the process of digestion and what we have to do to take care of our body parts. So let me tell you that several organs work together to bring about the process of respiration, which we have already discussed in the last lecture. If even one of this organ does not function properly, the respiration will not be completed. So to occur the process of the respiration, all the organs, they should work in the synchronization. So let me tell you that a group of organs which work together, to carry out function of the body, they are called as what? System. So how exactly the organ system form? Many organ comes together, they perform one particular function, so they are called as what, students, over here? System. Are you getting my point? So let me tell you that nose is one organ, trachea is the one organ, lungs are the one organ, and the diaphragm is one organ. So when lungs, trachea and the diaphragm, when they comes together, they form one system, and that system is called as what? Respiratory system. Okay, so just now we have discussed about digestion process as well. So as a result of respiration, you all know that oxygen enters in our body. Am I right? So when we do the process of respiration, oxygen enters in the blood and then it is spreaded to all parts of the body. That we all know very well. Am I right? And again, the substances which are formed in the process of digestion, the substances which are formed in the process of digestion, they also mix inside the blood. So basically two materials are mixing in our blood. In process of respiration, oxygen entered in our blood. In the process of digestion, food material is entered in our blood. So now in blood there are two components. Which two components are present in the blood? One is the oxygen and the second is the food material. And now the blood, it will transfer everything to each and every part of the body. So now together all these substances, oxygen and the food material, they act as the fuel for the body. Like petrol and diesel, the vehicle does not run. Like exactly in the same manner, without oxygen and without food material, our body will not work. Are you getting my point? So you must be thinking that how exactly this happens. What exactly happening over here? So let me tell you that respiration process and digestion process both are dependent upon each other. So you can't say that the respiration will occur and the digestion is not important, but respiration process and digestion process both are equally important. So let me tell you students, in this diagram, can you see that in this diagram oxygen is going inside the body, the food material is going inside the body. So in body oxygen is also going and in body food material is also going, right? So oxygen and food material, they both are present in the blood. Am I right? Sugar means what? Whatever food we are consuming. So food material plus oxygen. Food material, it will break down oxygen, it will break down all the food material, and with the help of the oxygen and with the help of the food material, our body will get the energy. You must be thinking that how exactly carbon dioxide forms in our body. So when food material gets completely break down, the carbon dioxide and water and energy is formed. And this carbon dioxide, which is not useful for the body, so this carbon dioxide ultimately it is removed with the help of what? Digestion process, respiration process. So carbon dioxide, it is forming as a result of the digestion process, and this carbon dioxide is removed from the process of what? Digestion. And to break down the food material, the oxygen gas is very important. Understood? So now you must have seen that all the systems which are present in our body, they all are dependent upon each other. That means digestion process is dependent upon the respiration, and the respiration process is dependent upon the digestion process. So all organs which are present in our body, they are dependent upon each other. So what we have learned today, students? We have learned that we should not eat food material fast. So that's why we shouldn't eat food material in a hurry, because when food is swallowed, the windpipe remains closed. But when we eat in hurry, the food might enter inside the windpipe, and this causing the choking of the food material. So that's why we shouldn't talk even while eating the food material, one thing at a time. Okay, so at the same time you must have seen that we should take care of our teeth, because the thing is that there is enamel, which is the strongest substance in our body, and that is protecting the internal parts which are present in our teeth material. So enamel, it is protecting the teeth, and that's why we should brush our teeth twice in a day, and we should see to that there shouldn't be any food particle which is stick to our teeth. Otherwise there will be corrodation of the enamel and the tooth decay may occur, and you might suffer from the toothache as well. Okay, so that's why students, always remember that we need to take care of our teeth as well. And what we have learned now? We have learned that with the help of the respiration, oxygen enters the blood, and with the help of the digestion, digested food enters inside the blood. So the blood and the oxygen. In the blood, now two components are present. In blood, digested food is present, and in blood, oxygen is present. So oxygen and sugar, both of them produces energy, water and carbon dioxide. So whatever energy we get for performing all the type of the activity, eating, writing, jumping, running, talking, that is because of the energy we obtain from the food material and the oxygen. So as a process of digestion and the respiration, carbon dioxide is formed, and this carbon dioxide is removed out of the body as in the form of respiration. Okay. So I hope so students, whatever we have learned today, you must have understood that. So the next part of this topic we will continue in the next lecture. Bye bye, take care.